So in the given problem, there is a matrix of m cross n where m is the row length and n is the length of the column, and we have to find the way from the starting of the matrix to the end of the matrix which gives us the minimum sum. So this is the matrix. Now all the numbers given in the matrix are non-negative, and the only directions we can move is either down or right. Okay, at any point of time either we can move right or we can move down. So now we have to find the minimum path starting from the starting of the matrix, that is 0 0, and to the end of the matrix. So let me just give the numbers to all the cell on the basis of rows and column. So this will become 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. Okay, so now as per the question we have to find out the minimum sum along any path starting from the starting cell. So we can either go from this to this by moving down. So the sum would be 2, then 2 plus 5 7, 7 plus 1 8, 8 plus 1 9. So by going this path we'll be getting sum as 9, or we can choose this path, 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 4 6, plus 2 8, plus 1 9, again we are getting 9. Or we can choose this path, 1 plus 3 4, 4 plus 1 5, 5 plus 1 6, 6 plus 1 7. So if we go via this path, 1 3 1 1 and 1, so the sum that we are getting is 7. For all the other paths we are getting sum more than 7. So we want the minimum sum starting from the starting cell of the matrix to the end of the matrix. So 7 would be our answer in that case. So let's quickly draw the state space tree for this matrix. So with 0 0 we have the option either to move right or down. Okay, so if we move right we'll reach this cell. If we move down we reach this cell. Again we have the option to move either right or down, but from 0 to we cannot move right, we can only move down because we'll cross the boundary of the matrix in this case. Similarly from cell 2 0 we can only move right side, from 2 0 we can only move right but we cannot move down. So let's take a smaller sub problem and then try to solve this. If suppose the matrix was only this one, this was the only matrix which we were given, so we had to reach 1 1 in this scenario. So what would be the least path in that case? What would be the sum of the least path if we can move right or down? So we can go via 1 2 3 to 5 right and then down, or we can move 1 2 1 to 5. Okay, these are the only two paths through which we can reach this cell 5 5 1 1. So the sum in this scenario would be 9 and sum in this scenario would be 7. So how did we figure out this particular sum? Just look at the state space tree. So this cell is having a value of 1. Okay, now 0 1 is having a value of 3, then 1 0 is having a value of 1, then 1 1 is having a value of 5, then 1 1 is having a value of 5. Okay, so currently I am looking at only the smaller sub problem. Then what will happen, just forget about all the other branches. So the state space tree for the smaller sub problem is this. Okay, so again from 0 0 we can either move to 0 1 or 1 0, then from 0 1 we can move to 1 1, or from 1 0 we can move to 1 1. So from here we can only move down, from here we can only move right. Now 0 0 cell has value 1, now 0 1 has value 3, now 1 1 has value 5, and then 1 0 has value 1. So by looking at this state space tree, you might get an idea that we are having two paths to reach 11. So we want the path with the minimum sum. So how do we do it? See, this particular cell is having value 1, this is having value 3, now this is having value 5. So if I sum all the values along all the cells that we encounter, then in this scenario it would be 9. But if we sum up all the values along this path, the value that we will be getting it is 7. So what are we actually expecting out of this particular state space tree is the minimum out of these two values. So 7 would be our solution in this particular scenario. So if we have to reach 11, then we are having two options. Either we can first go to the right side, or we can go to the down, then again we can go down. From here we can go right. So finally we will be getting 7 as the minimum value. So at every point of time we have to decide whether we should be going to the right side or to the down. So at every point you have to make a decision to select the minimum value. What is the minimum value? If suppose this is my problem, 0 1 is my problem, then what is the minimum value? I don't have any other options. I can only move down. So this is the only value that I am having. So this is the minimum value that I am having right now. Okay. Now similarly for 1 0, I cannot move to the down over here. So the only value that I am having is 1 1, that is 5. Okay. So that is the minimum value over here. But the moment I reach this cell, now for this cell I know the value is 5, for this cell I know the value is 5. So for 0 1 the value would be 5 plus 3 8. I am summing this 5 and the value of this. Then for this one it would be 6. I am summing both the cells. But now see, here we are having value 8 and here we are having value 6. Now again we have the option either to go right or to go down. So if we go right, then the value would be 8. We don't want the greater value over here, so we'll discard it. So if we go down, the value would be 6, right? The value would be 6 plus the value of this node, that is 1. So 7 would be our answer. So at every point in the matrix we are trying to find the minimum value at each and every sub problem. So the minimum value of 8 and 6 in this scenario would be 6. So 6 we will be selecting. Now we will be adding the value of the current node to the minimum value of the subsequent node that we have figured out. Suppose I represent this particular cell, the starting cell, as I and j. Then if I move right, then what I am practically doing is I am keeping I constant, but I am moving one step in j. So j plus 1, and in this scenario I am incrementing I but keeping j constant over here. So if we are moving right, then this is the scenario we will be landing in, and if we are moving down, then this is the scenario that we will be landing in. But what about the boundary case? Boundary case in the sense, like suppose if somehow we are trying from 0 1 again, if we were allowed to go to the right side, then the value would have been from 0 1, then again we will keep I constant over here, so that would be 0, and we will be incrementing j, so it will become 0 2. So I comma j plus 1 over here. Then similarly, if we are supposed to go down from here, if we were allowed to go down, then the value of the cell would have been I plus 1, that is 2 0. Even from 0 1 you can see, from 0 1 if we were allowed to move right, then we would have landed to cell 0 2, and from 1 0 if we were allowed to move down, then we would have landed to cell 20. But these two cells are not the part of our problem. These two cells are not the part of our problem because they fall outside the boundary of the matrix that we are trying to solve the problem for. So we have to discard these two cells. Now what will happen if we go outside the boundary of the array? So outside the boundary of the matrix, so we are going to the right side or we are going down over here. From 0 1 we could have gone either to the right side. If we would have gone to the right side, it would be 0 2, or if we would have gone down, then it would be 2 0. So somehow we have to discard these two scenarios. So we have to return a value in these scenarios so that our equation is consistent. So if we return 0 from this scenario, if we return 0 from here, then 11 will return 5 from over here, because 5 and then this cell gives 3 and this cell gives 1. So 5 3 8 1 9, then 5 1 6 and 1 7. So via this path we are getting 7, via this path we are getting 9, but we have to discard this particular branch and we have to discard this particular branch. So if we would return 0 from here, and if we want the minimum value of 0 comma 5, then this will return 0 from here, and similarly from here also it will return 0. Okay, then 0 plus 3 would be 3 from this branch, and 0 plus 1 would be 1 from here. From here it would be 1, from here it would be 3, then from this branch it would be 4 because we are adding 1 to this, and from here we will be getting 2. So out of 4 and 2, the minimum value would be 2. So that would be our solution if we are returning 0 from here. But 2 is anyhow not the correct solution, because it can either be 9 or 7, because we can either go first right and then down, or we can first go down and then right. So 2 is never the part of the solution in that scenario. So we cannot return 0 from here. So what should we return in that scenario? We don't want to go to this branch, the branch which is outside the scope of the matrix, So we can return some maximum value, but what would that maximum value be? Can we return something like integer dot max value from here? Then similarly we can return integer dot max value from here. So in this scenario, whenever it has to pick the minimum value, it will never go to this branch, and out of the maximum value of any given integer, it will always choose the value which is lesser than that. So in this way we will be able to handle the boundary conditions. Okay, so the moment we reach the target branch, suppose our target branch is 11 in this scenario, so what should we return in that scenario? In that case we will have to return the value of that particular branch, 5. Until and unless we return the value, how will we add up to the previous subproblem? We'll have to add that value to the previous subproblem. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and then whatever value we have gotten from there, that should be added to the first subproblem. Okay, this is how it should be. Okay, so the moment we reach to this value, then we'll be returning the value of that particular cell. So we'll quickly write both the boundary conditions. So this is our method, minimum path sum. So we are passing the matrix, and then I and j are the value of the current state. So if I becomes greater than or equal to matrix dot length, so if we are anyhow crossing this particular matrix in the row terms, or if we are crossing the matrix in column terms, row 0 matrix 0 dot length, okay, or we are crossing it over here, then we are landing into these two scenarios. Then we will return integer dot max value from here. Now the other derivation from this one is that if we land to the cell, the last cell for our subproblem, the last cell is 11. So if we land to the final cell, then we will return the value of that cell. So if I is equal to matrix dot length -1, and because both I and j have to simultaneously reach over there, then only it will be landing to this cell, and j is equal to matrix 0 dot length -1, then we will be returning the value of that cell. So return matrix I j. So these are the two boundary conditions that we have taken care of. Now what would be the actual subproblem? How are we going to break it into smaller subproblems? So suppose we are currently at the starting cell, then we have the option to either move right or we have the option to move down. So I'll write like this. So I can either move right. So in that case it will again become a subproblem, but you have to just take care of, like, you have to add the value of that cell to the next subproblem, so that once you get the value of that subproblem, then it will add it to the value of the previous cell. So it would be matrix I j plus, okay, so I am adding this value 1 with the subproblem. So what is the subproblem? MPS, that is minimum path sum. Again we would be passing matrix, but what is happening over here? We are going to the right. So while going right, we are keeping I constant, but we are incrementing in j. As you can look over here also, I constant, j is getting incremented, but anyhow we are not going to this path. This will get covered in the boundary condition. So now matrix I is constant and j we are incrementing. Okay, so we can go either to the right or we can go to the down. So we'll be taking the value of that matrix. Okay, so while going down we are incrementing I but keeping j constant. So that would be minimum path sum, matrix I is getting incremented and j is constant. Now what will we return from this? What should we return from this? To get a clue, we can go to the smaller subproblem over here. So we want the minimum out of these two cells. Then here also we want the minimum out of these two cells. Based on the minimum value of these two, we want the minimum out of these two cells, which would be our solution. So we want the minimum either from by going towards the right side or by going towards the down. We want minimum path out of these two scenarios. Now if we apply this rule for the subproblem, will it also be valid? Yeah, it would be valid. We want the minimum either going towards the right or down. For us, this right will not be valid because it is anyhow a boundary condition. Down would not be valid since it is a boundary condition, but if we would have considered all the elements, then it would have gone towards the right, and then we would have chosen the minimum out of right or down. So we'll return math dot minimum of either right or down. So this is basically the recursive solution for this problem. So what would be the time complexity in this scenario? See, at every point we are partitioning the sub problem into 2 raised to power 1, then 2 raised to power 2. If you would have been given very big matrix, then it would have of the length n, then it would have been 2 raised to power n. So this would be our time complexity, because at every level we are trying to partition it into 2 more sub levels. That is why it would be finally O2 raised to power n. This is the complete state space tree for this particular matrix. So as you can see, we are having overlapping sub problems over here. For 1, 2 we are trying to calculate too many times. Then for 1, 1 we are trying to calculate the minimum path sum 2 times over here. For 1, 2 we are trying to calculate 3 times. For 2, 1 we are trying to calculate 3 times. So is there any better solution rather than always trying to find out the minimum path sum for the already calculated values? Can we keep it in a matrix? The already calculated value, can we keep it in a matrix? Suppose we create a solution matrix. So in the solution matrix, what we can observe from here is, if we have to go from 0 0 to 0 1, 0 0 to 0 1, this is our source, this is our destination. So there is only one path, we can only move right. So from 0 0 to 0 1 there is only one path, provided we add the value of this cell to the next cell, that is 0 1. Okay, so 0 1's value is 3, so 3 plus 1 would be 4, and then for 1 0 it is 1. Okay, so to reach to this cell the value is 1, because we are already starting from this cell. Now to reach to the next cell, the minimum path sum would be 4, because there is no other values in the matrix, and this is our source and this is our destination. So the only way we can move is right. Then from 4, if we have to go to 0 2, then there is only one way. So 4 plus 1 would be 5 over here. Now we'll try to fill the row values over here. Now from 1, if we are moving to 1 0, then the value would be 2. Then from here to here it would be 5. Similarly, from 0 0 to 1 0 there is only one path if we are not considering other cells. From 0 0 to 2 0 there is only one path. Okay, so this is how it is. Now what about the diagonals and other cells? What would be the value of this cell? What would be the minimum path sum for 1 1? So in order to get the minimum path sum of 1 1, if we know the minimum path sum for 0 1 and 1 0, then we can find out the minimum path sum for this cell. How do we find it? So what is the minimum path sum for 0 1? The minimum path sum is 3 plus 1, that is 4. For this cell it is 2. Okay, now we want the minimum path sum either by going down or by going right. These are the only two ways we can go to 1 1, either by going down from 0 1 or by going right. So for this, either by going down or by going right. If we go down, then the value that we are having is 4. If we go down, the value is 4. But if we go to the right, then the value is 2. So if we can pick the minimum out of these two values, then what would be the minimum path sum in that case? So minimum out of 4 and 2 would be 2. Okay, added to the value of the cell. So 2 plus 5. 5 is nothing but the value of this cell. So this would be 7 in that scenario. Now to go to this cell, again we can either move, say in this solution matrix we are saving the minimum path sum of each and every cell as we are moving forward. Okay, now for this cell we can either choose out of these two values, since this is the minimum, plus the value of this particular cell 1 2. So 5 plus 1 would be 6 in this scenario. Now for this cell, again 7 and 5 would be the minimum value, then 5 plus 2 would be 7, then out of 6 and 7, 6 is the minimum value, then 6 plus 1 would be 7. So 7 is the minimum path sum in this particular scenario. So what we are doing over here is we are calculating minimum out of either moving towards the right side or by moving down. At every point we are catching that result. Why are we catching it? So that if we land into 1-1 kind of scenario, then we don't have to recalculate it. We already know the solution. Either we are going from the right side, either we are going to 1-2, either from the right side of 1-1 or from the down of 1-1, we would be knowing the value of this particular cell. So we don't have to recalculate it. So that will help us optimize this particular solution. So the end cell in this scenario would give us the final value. So how do we write the program for this? The program is pretty simple. For the columns, we will keep on filling it till we reach the end of the particular column, and we will keep adding the previous values to that. Then for the rows, we will do the same thing. We will keep adding the previous value to the current node until we reach to the end. Now for this particular cell, what we will do, we will find the minimum out of the cell which is just above it or the cell which is left to that, and then we will add it, and then we will get the value. So for the rows, so row is nothing but the length of all the rows that we are having. Column is nothing but the length of all the columns that we are having. So we'll create a solution matrix. So this is the solution matrix. So this will be of the same dimensions as the given matrix. Now for 0 0, that for the first cell, this will be the same value, because there is no way we can move right or down from here. So that would be the same value. Now we'll start filling the value of all the columns in that case. So for j equal to 0, j less than the length of the column, so it would be j less than column, so j plus plus. So keeping I constant as 0, would be filling with the previous value whatever we have gotten and adding to the current value of the j. So these are j basically. Similarly, we can do that for I also, and then we can find out the minimum value of these two cells. Similarly, we are doing it for the rows. So solution Ij is nothing but the value of the previous cell whatever we were having plus the current value of the matrix. So if we are adding it, then we will be getting it. Now in order to get this cell, so we will be writing two for loops for integer I equal to 0, I not 0. We will start from 1 because we have already calculated the columns and rows. I less than row, I plus plus, then for integer j is equal to 1, j less than column, j plus plus. So solution Ij then in this scenario would be, so we want the value of this cell. So this cell's value would be, first we'll be copying the value of the cell right now, that is matrix Ij plus. Now we want minimum out of these two values. So math dot minimum out of these two values. So this value is nothing but solution of I we are decrementing keeping j constant, comma solution of keeping I constant decrementing j. Okay, finally we can return this particular cell. So we can return matrix of row minus 1 comma column minus 1.